Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name, still signing it, is Kate. At work, I run a group called Wellness Wednesday, and the purpose of that group is because I think that life is filled with plenty of stress and responsibilities, and it's important for us to find ways to manage that. So, our group meets to discuss techniques, strategies, to sit down and talk about things together and to work through different things that we experience in life and to share the struggles and the successes that we have. Now, I think now more than ever, we're probably feeling quite a lot of stress due to what's happening in the world. I don't know about anybody else, but my phone is constantly telling me it's full up, it can't receive anything else, I need to delete apps, I need to delete WhatsApp in order to open WhatsApp, blah, blah, blah. With that in mind, I'm now going to record these videos and just upload them directly to this channel. Okay, I don't want to bombard anyone's phone any more than it already has been. Secondly, Wellness Wednesdays, goodness, it feels like a week might stretch somewhat at the moment, so I'm just going to call it Wellness Weekdays, or maybe I won't call it anything, but I don't want to feel confined to just being able to reach out once a week if I feel that there's a need or if there's anything that I think I could share that would be beneficial. So our group that meets together, I do have an online group as well, so this is going to be an amalgamation of the two different formats, but when we meet, the session takes the format of 3 different activities. We start with a breathing activity or a mindfulness task. Then we do another task where we're actually physically doing something or working on something together or discussing something. And then we finish with some reflection. Quite often we'll focus on gratitude. Okay, so today our exercise is square breathing. That's worked really well for us in the past. It's a good breathing technique to introduce people to because it gets you into the way of doing counting when you're breathing. And also it's good for people who are maybe visual learners. I like to actually draw out the square as you're doing the breathing. Okay, so here's what you do. You inhale for a count of 4, and if for you that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine. Try and build up to a 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in for 4, you hold it for 4, you exhale for 4, you hold it for 4, then you repeat the cycle. So we'll try and do that together at the moment now. We'll maybe just go for 3 cycles. If you want to close your eyes, do whatever makes you feel comfortable, okay? So after a count of 3, let's begin. 1, 2, 3. I would recommend that you maybe do that for about 10 circuits, but this is all about individuality, so you do it for how long that it works for you. Hopefully your breathing becomes a little bit more regulated. Please look at this as something that needs to be practiced. We just used to breathing. I don't know about anyone else, but for me, I'm used to breathing until I start thinking about my breathing, and that's when it becomes weird and conscious. But taking control of your breathing and doing these types of exercises gives you a chance to calm yourself down, to refocus your brain, okay, and to clear your thoughts. Sometimes when you do these types of activities, you can feel kind of lightheaded, and that's because of the amount of air that you take in, the oxygen you're taking in, you're holding it, and it's just different from what we're used to. So please try that. Try that when you're feeling stressed. If you remember to do that, sometimes when we're feeling stressed, coping mechanisms go right out the window. Try as well when you're actually relaxed. Try and use this as an exercise, a habit to get into so that it becomes easier. Okay? So, rather than an activity for the second part, I just wanted to share some sort of tips. And let me preface this. I should have prefaced the whole thing by saying I'm no expert in anything. I'm just an ordinary person, but I'm interested in how we navigate life and how we cope with stresses, and I like to help people. So that's what this is all about for me. But I'm not an expert in anything. This is all just opinion. This is just experiential, okay? So please take from it anything positive that works for you. Okay, so my advice here, I think you should prepare for things that you're worried about relying on. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're a tea drinker, I'm a big tea drinker, and this is going to be hard for me being at home because the temptation to drink pot after pot of tea is just great. If you're struggling to get milk, maybe consider an alternative. Maybe try having some herbal tea for a change, or boosting your immune system by buying some lemons or some PLJ. My grandma would be thankful for me promoting that one. Put in some hot water, some honey, anything like that. You might not be able to get milk. Rather than stress about it, try and find an alternative. Did you get rid of all those dusty DVD box sets? Have you got a pile of books that you always meant to read but never had the chance to? Now's the time to do that kind of thing. My worry is that if I rely too much on streaming things, there's too much strain. There's going to be an awful lot of strain. My child told me yesterday that I was a genius when I fixed Peppa Pig. It's quite a nice moment, but I thought, no, it was actually just luck. But avoiding things such as a streaming, something like Netflix, something that could crash on you because it's just being overworked. You don't want that to add unnecessary stress. We're so used to having convenience and little luxuries that we take for granted. So maybe try and put in place an alternative just to avoid that disappointment. Social media, anything online that is bringing you any sense of anxiety or stress or any sort of toxicity, you have the control to take a step back from it. Maybe make the decision that you only spend a certain amount of time online each day, or that you only engage with people or websites or apps that make you feel good, that make you laugh, that just lighten things a little bit right now. Now, I've posted a couple of videos to try and help people who are at home with little ones or looking for activities. I've posted just some silliness with my little girl, the glitter bug. Please be under no illusions. I do not find this easy. This whole situation is so difficult, and I'm sure that there are very few households that are not experiencing fraught moments or extended periods of fraughtness. Either you're on your own and you feel literally quite isolated, or maybe you feel quite trapped because all of a sudden you've got a house full of people who normally go about their own business and now you're all stuck together. This is not easy, and I fully appreciate that everybody is finding their own struggles. So let's just view it as being that we're in it together, and try your best to offer kindness whenever you can. Believe me, mummy is not always lovely. My mummy, if you're watching this, hi mummy, she knows that's true. And you know what, we're only human, and I think if you apologise with sincerity and if you take each moment or each day as a chance to start again and to try and improve things, that's all we can do. Nourish your body. It's hard to get out to the shops right now. There's more stringent restrictions for us. We're not supposed to be going out unless we need to. Maybe do that thing that your mother or your granny would have said. Write down a list of the things that you want to get so that you don't go into the shops and get into a panic. Write down a list of alternatives if you know that you're not going to be able to get past it. You know what? Maybe I'll try a different staple, okay? Try and plan ahead things that you can easily cook with ingredients that are going to be good for you, and not just eating junk, because I know that's easy and where people are grabbing things that are convenient. But try and make good healthy choices, because you've got to look after your immune system, and lowering your stress and upping the good things that we put into our body is really important. I'm all for relaxing when you need to, whether that's with a little sugar boost or a little vino in the evening, whatever. but exercise some sort of moderation when you can, just to look out for yourself. Goodness gracious me, the last thing I'm going to say on well, 2 more tips. Get outside. We're allowed to go out. Please go outside and make the most of your time to get into the fresh air and do a little bit of exercising. I'm from Glasgow. We are generally a friendly people. It is strange being outside and seeing people crossing the road and actually looking like they're afraid to say hello, whereas anyone who's been to Glasgow will quite possibly, if you've stood at a bus stop, realise that you'll meet someone that you've never known, and 5 minutes later you know their whole life story, and Jessie round the corner, you know everything about everyone. Right now there is a change in the climate. Get yourself outside and try and offer a smile, try and wave hello even from that safe distance. And for goodness sake, my last bit of advice, when you're washing your hands all the time, my hands have gotten into a terrible state right now with dermatitis. Please, if you can, put some hand cream on them as well. If you've got little ones out there, please put hand cream on them as well, because we're doing our skin an awful lot of damage if we're not drying our hands properly, and that excess, contact with soap and water, it's sore, and it's something you don't need as an additional stress. Okay, now I have rabbited on and on and on. So the last section of this is a little bit of gratitude. Now, see, even if you feel at your lowest point and we're only at the start of our lockdown, which please try and see it as a positive. Hopefully, if we all adhere to the rules, hopefully we'll come out of this stronger and with a little bit of damage limitation done. But in the meantime, look for the things around you that you actually genuinely can show gratitude and thanks for. I consider myself to be incredibly lucky, and I am so grateful for all of the things, especially the tiny things that I overlook and take for granted all the time. Right now, three gratitudes. Try and say them aloud. Say them into the mirror. Write them down. Put it out there to the universe and say what it is that you're actually thankful for, because that positivity has a really, really good way of spreading and multiplying in the best possible way. Okay. I right now am grateful that my back stretches that I'm doing for my back injury are becoming more manageable. That is such a relief to me, and I know I need to keep doing them in order to strengthen myself. I am so grateful that I have a plethora of CDs, and to all the people that said to me, why do you keep buying CDs? Because I love them. I'm getting to listen to all of these CDs right now. I've got positivity coming through the radio and podcasts, which I'll talk to you about at a later date. That's fantastic. And I am so grateful. Number 3, I am so grateful that I have been able to spend time with Mr. Desmond, my beloved dog. So yeah, look for these small things to be happy. I so hope that at least a tiny part of this has been of use to you, and look out for each other, stay safe, and have as good a day as you can. Okay? Thank you.